I am awesome. Who is awesome? I am awesome. Who is awesome? I am awesome. Who is awesome? I am awesome. Who... Okay. Hey, just playing the game. Welcome, ROS developers, to the 10th session of the live class of ROS. I'm very happy to reach that number. That is why for this class, we have created a special banner with some colors identifying the 10th. And we are going to repeat this on the next live classes when we reach the dozens. So what is about this class today? So we are going to continue with the subject that we started last week, that was about how to create state machines to control the robot behavior. On the first class last week, if you remember, we were working using SMATch. SMATch is the system that ROS provides to create the state machines. But as we saw there, it was quite a little bit confusing because required to take into account very many details to write everything in Python with a very complex. It's not complex, but it's difficult to handle syntax. Okay, so today we are going to see a visual system for creating those state machines, so we can avoid some part of the burden of writing this SMATch code. However, the tool that I'm going to show you and that you are going to use with me to create some state machines today, it's not 100% working with graphics only. So it will require that we code some part. So and then the thing is that on the next week, we are going to dedicate even a third round for creating state machines by using a totally visual tool. But that is going to be on the third round, so next week, okay? So this week, we are going to see one tool that is called RComander. Let me show you with my screen. By sharing my screen, let me show you here what I have. Where it is here. Yes. So here, it's a tool that is called RComander. Okay, and RComander identifies itself as the Photoshop for robots. Okay, not very good tagline, so I don't agree completely. But anyway, that's what they said. The problem with this tool, as you can see here, is a kind of a graphical tool for building state machine tool, state machines graphically. And the thing is that this code, it was discontinued on Fuerte edition of ROS. So it means that I had to do some work in order to make this available for current Indigo version that we are going to use on the RDS, on the ROS Development Studio. And it required to me to do some code, especially, and get deep into how it has been done. So you are going to get the version that I have coded, okay? So the one that I have hacked that already works with Indigo. So I'm going to share this with you in a few minutes. The only thing is that I have done the minimal amount of modifications. So it works, we can make it work, but it's nothing super fancy, as you will see. But at least it works and will allow us to create those state machines graphically and control the robots using this. Okay, so let's start first by going to the ROS Development Studio. So all of you that are there watching this webinar, this live class, please go to the ROS Development Studio. I assume that you already have an account, a free account. If not, you can create it quickly, because we are going to move fast on this. And then for accessing this, the address is rds.theconstructsim.com. You go there and then you can log in. Probably you will reach a different page than this one. Okay, so now I'm going to share the code for this class of today that I have here. For that, I have created here as a project, and I'm going to share it with you. As in the previous classes, I will need your usernames in the ROS Development Studio. in order to put them here, and then I can share the file with you. Please write down your usernames there on the chat of this live class that you have on the side, and then I will be copying and putting it here so you can use. And in the meantime, I'm going to answer a question from Austin that he says, do we have any group or IRC channels to chat at other times? And the thing is not, we don't have. But it's a very good idea, and we can create one. Yes, definitely. Let's create one for the next session, for the next live class. And the emails are starting to appear here. On the last session, we had some problems with copying and pasting the emails because it was introducing some strange characters. And we have worked to solve this problem. Let's hope that this is correct, that this is working already. And let's see, we have tested and it looks like it's working. Okay. I'm copying here all of you that you are posting your emails there on the chat so I can pass you the code for today. Okay, great. If you are already there, then you can get into the RDS and start. So I'm going to share, let's see. I'm sharing to all these people the live class, and then the system is sharing. Let's see if it works. Yes, great. So it works, all files share correctly. Still another person that has joined us on the last minute. That is her hands. And let me share it with them. We should add here something to clean this easier. Is Lucas Lucky? Her hands. Okay, so here we are. And Stilianos, okay, Stilianos is still in the nick of time. Okay, and that's all for today. Okay, Rehalia, yes, so let's move it also. And let's see. So that's all for today. And Rehalia, your Gmail doesn't exist. It's okay for Lucas and for Stelianos, but not for you, Rehalia. So you have some problem with the RDS username. Okay, check it out. Okay, let's go. So if you have received that, just let me know if you have any problem. I assume that you have received. Then you go to your project's private area of the project, not the public one, but the one that is for you, your own projects, and then you can open the project. So let me just share with Austin that he's there, and he's been there from the very beginning, and he's waiting until the last minute to indicate his username. So very bad, Austin. Okay, you got it. And Roberto says hi. Hey, Roberto, how you doing, man? So let's continue with this class. So let's start. Everyone, you go to your project's private zone, and then you open the project. Okay, open it, click on here, and then you should reach a screen like this one. And the next thing that we are going to do is to open the files. For this is the IDE here. And then you will reach all the different workspaces that we have here. Okay, so Roberto says that he wants the files also. I cannot say no to him because he's my friend, and then he deserves that. So please, Roberto, put your email, your username on the ROS Development Studio, the username that you have, and then I will share with you, okay? Put it there on the chat. Great. So for the rest, you have reached this point here where we have all the different workspaces. Then we open here the Catkin workspace. And if you remember, we were using a state machine to control a drone. Okay, so let's go and start launching the simulation of the drone here. Select simulations and then go to Parrot drone. and then you open here, it will start. Okay, so now we are going to continue from the previous class. So the point where we left at the previous class. And at that point, if you remember, we already created some code to control the takeoff of the robot, of the drone, and also to move around and then to land. And in case that you don't remember this, on the previous video of the previous live class, this one, class number 9, so I posted the whole code in case that you want to check it out. But anyway, you don't need to go there because I have already included here in the drone control here. So if you come here to drone state machine inside the calcing workspace and then select the drone state machine, open the inside source, here you have the whole code that when launched will make the robot take off, move, and then land. Okay, so for all of you that are attending, just start launching this code and make the robot execute this state machine. Just go for it. In the meantime, I'm going to share the code with the last 3 people. Nobody else, okay, is getting 4 last people. Commander, Dominic, Roberto, and Mudrul. Okay, so for the other ones, you have some work to do. Go ahead. So I'm going to share this with Commander Cisco, that is at the UOD. It's a very strange name here, or I don't know if I have written correctly your email. Then Dominic here, then Roberto from Robotnik, and then Murdul. So here it is. Okay, sharing. Let's see. Okay, Murdul and Adeyowe, you don't have an user in the RDS. Roberto and Dominic, you have it. Sorry, I cannot dedicate more time to this. So let's talk afterwards, okay? So I'm going to return to my screen where I have everything there. Great. So I hope that all of you have been able to launch it. So how do you launch it? Very easily. Open inside the tools, open a shell, then let's launch the program. How is the program launched? This one. Well, it's a typical ROS run, as you know. ROS run, then the name of the package that is called drone state machine. And then the name of the Python that is called drone control. Drone control, and you will see how the robot takes off, then moves, and then lands. Let's see. Okay, takes off, moves, and then, yes, and rotates. Sorry, I didn't remember about that state, and then lands. Okay, so it should be working like this for you, all of you. I have shared the same information. It's very simple steps. Okay, and it should work. So let me know if it's not working for you, okay, on the chat. Here, what do we have here? Let me put it bigger here. So what do we have? Well, we have the states and the state machine. So if you remember from last class, we had to create some states, one for takeoff, move, rotate, and then land. And then connect to each other based on this specific syntax for smash. Okay, so okay, that's so far so good, but we don't want to use this kind of tools. We want to use graphic tools. For this purpose, if we close this package and the drone test also, you have received here the RComander core. And this is a tool. This is a tool that allows you to launch, create state machines by using a graphical interface. So let's do one thing, just let's launch it, okay? So let's go straight to launch it. And for that, I have created here inside the RComander plane, I have created here a launch file. So you have here, launch command. Here you have to come here to the shell and then do a ROS launch. I hope that you are doing all the work, and let me know if it's not working for you, okay? So here is RComander plane, and then the RComander plane.launch. If you launch it, then the RComander will start. Of course, you cannot see this. Why? Because it's a graphic tool. It's a graphic tool that opens its own image, its own window. So for this, in the web, we need to go to the tools. In order to see any graphical tool, any tool that opens its own window, we have to go to graphical tools here. And then here, once it opens, you can see here that the RComander has started. Okay, so let me put it bigger because we want this to be clearly seen. And also I'm going to press here inside the window itself to maximize. Great, so here we have this. And how do we use this in order to create a graphical tool? Okay, yes, okay, great. So people, wait just a second. People is indicating some errors. Okay, great, good. I'm happy that you mentioned that. Yes, this is an error. And of course, I was waiting somebody to point it out just to see if you are doing or you are not doing, okay? So let's solve it. Don't worry, it's normal. It's normal, no problem. And then the thing is that in order to make this work from Fuerte version, you remember that was written into Fuerte, and now we are running this in Indigo. So I had to do some tricks in there, some things, and I haven't dedicated too much time. So we have to do some stupid command in order to make it work. Okay, I have done it previously. That's why for me it's working. So I'm going to close it, just this. And this also, yeah. So I'm going to close the state machine. And then what I want you is to write the same command as I am doing. Okay, so first you have to reach, I'm going to put the command inside the chat also. So first you have to go to this directory. Okay, so I'm going to write this, cd. This is one of the directories in these files that I have put it here for the RComander. Okay, so you go to that directory, and then once you are in that directory, you have to write to execute this command in order to install one library in the local user. Okay, so it's Python setup.py install in the user space. So you execute this, then I'm copying the command here also, and that's it. So we needed just to do this, to install that library that I have already compiled, but didn't have the time to integrate everything. So it's already compiled in your local machines, but you needed to install, and that's the error. So don't worry. I hope that you all has solved this problem. Then next thing is to launch the RComander with the command I already explained to you. It's a ROS launch. So let me copy like this. I think it will be easier. ROS launch commander. Yeah, I'll put it a little bit smaller like this. Well, you launch this, and then the state machine graphic tool will start, as you can see. And for that, I will repeat the steps. It's a graphic tool. It's something that is generating a window inside the Linux machine. And then for that, in order to visualize in web, we need to use this graphical tool. Okay, people is reporting that it's working. Perfect. Sometimes you get an invalid login. That depends on the network connection that you have. But just press again login and it will retry. Okay, great. So let's continue. What do we have here? I'll put the graphic tool bigger, then press here the maximize icon in the window. And so what I have done is I have used previously to prepare this class, I have used this RComander in order to create a simple, very simple state machine, and I have saved it. So you, on the code that you already have this state machine already done. And this tool is very nice because it allows you to save graphical state machines and then reload them. Okay, so let me show you where is the state machine. It is here in the code. If you go to the Catkin workspace source, you see the drone state machine. This is the code from the previous live class number 9, previous one, that only contains this match code. This is the RComander code. That is the one that we are using to launch this. And then here we have drone test. Here inside drone test, it is saved as state machine. I haven't written this directory. It's just generated by the RComander. So let's load this. In order to load that state machine, you can go here to File and then Open. And I'm going to put it even bigger so you can see better everything. Okay, so here, how can we reach the drone test there? Then we press User, then Catkin workspace, Source, and here you don't have to do double click. Just click once. It's how it works. I'm sorry, but this is how the RComander works. So you press, just click, select drone test. This is the drone test directory, and choose. Then the state machine should appear here. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if it's working for you. In the meantime, I'm drinking water. Is it working for you? Did you achieve? Okay, one thumbs up from Estilianos, Paulo Gonzalez also, Fonti Tija. Okay, great. Very good. Very good. Okay, so now let's analyze what this word. Well, the first thing, before we analyze, let's launch it because it's what we are looking for. Thanks very much, everyone, for the thumbs up. Rumar, Tija, Jill with this, whatever, Chin Mei, great. So let's go for the things that we like to execute. Then let's execute, having here on the side the simulation and the robot, and let's do an execution of this. So how do you execute this? Well, here you can see the different states. Okay, you can select the states. Then those states, here there is a state that is called the takeoff. And here there is another state that is called my sleep 0. This my sleep 0 has a circle around, and that indicates that this is the starting state. So this is the state that starts the state machine when we execute it, is the first one. Then when this sleep state finishes, if it finishes correctly, done, it will go to the takeoff. Then it will make the robot take off. Then when the takeoff is finished correctly, then it will go finish. Otherwise, it will go fail. Okay, so that's what we are going to see. And we can see here in which state is the state machine at any point in time. So in order to execute the state machine, I'm going to give you more details later, okay? So this state sleep is going to wait for 3 seconds. Waiting here once we start the state machine, and then after that it will jump into the takeoff. So let's execute it and see if it is correct. You can change, by the way. Let me change here. So I'm going to put, instead of 3, I'm going to put 5, just to have it a little bit more time. Then I'm going to go to actions here and then press run. So I press run, and you see that this has been activated. Here is waiting for 5 seconds already, change to takeoff, and then the robot has taken off. That's it. Awesome. Awesome. Yes. So we got it. Okay. We got a simple state machine, but the interesting thing is, how can we do this? Okay, so I'm going to explain you this, how to. Okay, so what we are going to do is to create another state that makes the robot move forward. So we are going to do this together. And then you will have to create another state that is the landing. You will have to do it by yourselves. Okay, so let's do together the one that moves the robot. Okay, remember that this is just an introduction. Okay, so here with the RComander, there are a lot of things. But any questions so far? So I hope that you are following. Great. Let me see if there is any question. If you are not following something. In the meantime, I'm going to land my drone. How to? Well, I'm going to launch right into the topic for landing. I need another shell, so I'm going to open another one here. And I'm going to write into the topic. For Paulo, is not moving the robot. Paulo, did I share the new code with you, or are you using the code from the previous lesson? ROS topic, pop into the drone, land, and then it's an empty message that you have to write. It's an empty message on that topic, and then the drone will land. Great. Round 2 code. Okay, great, Paulo. Then you have a problem there that not moving the robot. Okay. I don't know what can it be. Then one of the things is that just try to relaunch the simulation. Okay, for that, go to simulations and select again, parrot, and then it will launch again. Then you close the state machine. Once the simulation is running, you launch it again, the state machine. Okay, and try again, and let me know how it goes. Okay, in the meantime, so I hope that all of you have also landed the robot. So let's go and see how it works. Okay, so in order to, the RComander is a little bit, it's nice, but still needs something more. You will see in a minute. So here we have, as you can see, a sleep state, a takeoff state. Where do they come from? Well, they come from these tabs here. Okay, so we have different tabs here, and each tab contains different states that you can relaunch here. And how he says that there is not enough resolution to see the commands. Okay, let me see if I can increase this, but I'm not sure. No. I have put it the highest. It's at the highest. So I don't know if you cannot see here on the RComander, or you are not able to see in any place here, even on the shells or something. I don't know. I'm sorry, that's what we have now. Then what I was saying, so we have different tabs, and each tab provides different states that you can add to your state machine. Okay, so if I press here, for example, my input, select my input. Yeah, command near arrows. Yes, I cannot even see myself. This is a problem. I understand. You mean those tags here? Yes, it's a problem of the RComander. So the RComander, this is not very well done, and you cannot even see. It's not for the transmission. It's because of the system that is like that. But that's what we have now. Sorry, it's nobody has done something better. So that's what we have. So what I was saying, I select here my robot actions. For example, I have those 4 different states that I can add here. So I select my input, and here I got the information from that state, from the one that I select. In my sleep, I have the seconds parameter. My output, I have the output. And full state, I have number of times, for example. Then what I'm going to do is, for example, I'm going to add this full state. So let's see how it works first, okay? If the full state, if you remember from the previous class, the full state, let's go to the code of the full state. It is included here in drone state, basic example. So it's this foo state that we are including into the state machine, okay? So it's a state that it executes, and if every time that it executes, it increases a counter. While this counter is below number 3, then the output of this state is outcome 1. If the number is above 3, then the outcome will be outcome 2, the output of the state. Okay, so every time that you call this state, then increases 1, the counter, and provides outcome 1 all the times until it counter reaches 3 times that this state has been executed. So let's do one thing. Let's add this foo state here into the state machine and modify this state machine. Okay, so how do we do? Select foo, then forget about this number times by now, and then press here add. Here you can find the add. Then, as you can see, a new state is included into the state machine, and it's called foo. Okay, so what we are going to do is, first, let's change on the state, on the MySleep, let's change here the number of seconds to 1 second. 1 second. Okay. Then here we are going to connect foo. We are going to connect foo with MySleep. So what we are going to do is that the state machine starts in MySleep and then goes to foo. If foo is below the 3 times, then it will return into sleep. So it will sleep again another second, go back to foo, go back to sleep, go back to foo, go back to sleep, go back to foo, and then it will jump into the takeoff. So it will repeat this cycle 3 times, and then it will jump into the takeoff. Okay, so we are going to disconnect this here and connect MySleep, disconnect from takeoff and connect to foo. How do we do that? So we select here MySleep and then go to connections. And then here where it says done, you see done is the name that is written here and that you barely can read. I cannot even read myself. It's very strange. So we change from takeoff and then select foo. And you are going to see that the connection is done. Okay, great. So now we have those 2 connected. Then we go to foo and then we select here again the connections. And then when the outcome is 1, it means that the counter has not reached 3. Let's connect it back again into MySleep. Okay, so select here MySleep. So those 2 are connected together until foo reaches 3. That will generate outcome 2. And then we select here on the connections, take off. So that's it. So what we are going to see is that the robot starts here, the state machine starts here, then goes to foo, then MySleep, foo, MySleep, foo, MySleep, foo, take off. That's it. So let's do it. Let's execute it. For that, let's select this one as the starting is still selected as the start state. In case that you want to select a different one, you can press it here and press here start state. So now foo is selected. Don't do that, okay? It's just for showing. So let's start on the MySleep. Well, you can do it if you want. It's more or less it's going to be the same behavior. So now we have this, and let's start the state machine, run. So it's a sleep, sleep. You cannot see the transition because foo to sleep is very fast. But at some point in time, you can see the transitions here, okay? Okay, so after that, then it has taken off. You can see all the transitions that are occurring here and that are very, very fast to be seen here on the execution thread that you have of in the shell. So you can see that it's changing from one to another. Okay, so I hope you understood this. Let's go again to land the the drone. So I'm going to repeat the command. Great. So now let's add a new state, because everything here is already added by me. So you already have it. You only have to press buttons and do it, and it's easy. But then I have created this additional drone tab where I would like to put here 2 states more. The first one, well, 3 states more. One is for moving the robot forward. Another one is for rotating, and another one is for landing. Okay, let's go for the moving forward, and then I will leave the others for you. So how do we do that? How do can add a new state here that can be added finally into the state machine? Okay, here is where things get worse. Is when we have to do code. Okay, so I'm going to show you the straightest way of doing it. So you have to follow me. There are ways of improving this a lot, but we don't have time. So open here the RComander core, and then let's go to the RComander plane, inside source, RComander plane. Okay, so here is where we are going to add our state. And in order to add a state, a new state, the one that moves forward, we need to create a tool.py file. Okay, so let's create one here. For that, let's open, so right click here on the directory, you do right click and then new file. Let's create forward tool.py. So let's create this file here, that it's an empty file by now. So I'm opening it, it's empty. Great. So here is where we are going to put our code for the state that will be shown here. Okay, so we need to code the state actually, and that's what we are going to do. But in order for RComander to work, it needs you to create several things. First thing is, let me see another example, the one that I have done with the takeoff. Yes. So I'm showing you here the takeoff example, and we are going to just copy, paste, and change the names. Okay. So, well, apart from including all that stuff, this is the code of the state that I have created in order to include the takeoff in the RComander. Okay, so you see here the takeoff. If you select it, then you can add it here. Okay, you can press here add, and then a new takeoff state is added. And then if I select it, then I can delete it. So I delete it, no way. So how did I achieve to get this takeoff here? Okay, so that's what we are looking now. So this is the code that allows me to add the takeoff. And what it contains. Okay, so what it contains is, first, it contains 3 things. First, it contains this class that inherits from the RComander, from an RComander class. And this is necessary, so you have to create this. And then the second thing that you need to create is this one, the tool that inherits from another RComander class. And this is the one that specifies the information that you will get here for a specific state. So if you select here, you see that you can have here this form to include the number of times, or here on the sleep, the seconds that you are going to sleep. So this is specified here in the takeoff tool, so in the tool class, tool base. And how to do this, in order to know how to fill that, you need to learn Qt and Python Qt. So everything here is in Python Qt. So I'm not going to teach you about that. So we are just going to copy and paste. In case that you want to learn, then you can go by yourself. And the only things that we need to know is this new node function, this set properties, and then the reset. Okay, so for that, let me also open another one that is, for example, the foo tool. The foo tool is the state that I have created based on our previous class. And that contains, as I mentioned, this tool base and this to state base. Okay, is more or less the same. Okay, and the only thing that is different is this, the class, because this is a very simple state, match state. In our case of moving forward, we need to include another information. So what do we need to include for moving forward the drone? So let's go to the state that we create on the previous class. And it's here in drone state machine, drone control. If you come here, you can see that here, when we created the move is not a typical smash state, but instead is a callback state. And for this, we need to define the move CB callback that is included here. Okay, so here it is, move CB callback. Okay, so what we are going to do is to copy this into the forward tool. Okay, so open the, where is it? Forward, no, drone control here, sorry. Here in the drone control pie, copy all this callback for moving the drone forward. So copy, and then go to forward tool and paste. On top of this, we'll need to import all the things that we need to import from the takeoff tool. So if you go to the takeoff tool, it's the same imports that we need to import. So copy all the imports from the beginning and put it at the beginning of the forward tool. So what we have now is all the imports and then the callback for the state of the forward state for the state machine. Okay, so far so good. Let me know if you have problems following on the chat. Okay, so what else do we need? So the next thing that we need is, if you watch here on the takeoff tool, we have the same things. We have the import and then the callback of the takeoff. That's it. Okay, so just like that. Then the next thing that we need is the takeoff state. So the takeoff state, we just copy this code here from the takeoff tool. Okay, so we are copying the same thing that we have done in the takeoff tool. So you copy and then you add here beneath this callback. Okay, so some things that we need to change here, if you have copied and followed. Things, first one, the class is not called takeoff. In this case, is forward. Remember, we are going to follow the same structure. Okay, so for the takeoff, you can see here takeoff, then underscore tool. In our case, is forward underscore tool. So let's remove this. Instead of takeoff, let's put forward with first one, capital letters. All those things are not necessary, okay? So you can, I mean, the name, convention, etc., but just makes things easier and less prone to errors. And then here, this TUA.stateBase has to call, is returning a CB state that is calling a callback. Then here, as you can see, it contains the callback of the takeoff, and instead we have to put our callback, that is move. And I think that move is very bad name, so let's change it right now. Instead of calling this move, let's call it forward also. Forward. So we can follow the same convention all the time. And then copy this name and put it here in the forward state. Okay, so far so good. We are almost there. We are almost there. Then now what we need to put is the structure that defines the way that the information for that state will be shown here. We are just copying this, okay? Because we can set many things here, but we are not going to get into details. So just copy the code from the takeoff tool, copy it, and paste it. And now we can check some things, and I can give you some details. So the first thing is that we have to modify here is on the init function, instead of takeoff, we have to put, what's the answer? Yes, forward, exactly, forward. And then here on the next parameter, also we have to put forward with capital letter, forward, the first one, okay, forward. And then instead of takeoff state, we have to put the forward state that is here. Those two are just labels, but it's for getting consistent with everything. The important part here is this forward state. That is the one that we have defined here. Okay, so here is where we define all the properties that can be filled in the Qt area here. But we are not going to get into details here because I think here we don't have to modify anything. Yes, and these are functions that help you to modify the state and etc. So the only thing that we need to change is, again, takeoff state, no, is forward state. And I think that that's all. And that's all the code that we need to do in order to add that state that will allow us to move the robot. Okay, so let's save it. You can press Control S or also how to save it. How was it? I don't remember the option for saving here. Is, well, file save. Yeah, save. That's it. And then you have created the code for the new state to be used here in the state machine. Okay, so how do we add it here in the tab? Now the code is done, but somebody must tell them to, hey, please add a second state here. So how do we do this? By going to a specific file, okay? And this is one of the things that I don't like very much because it's a legacy from the old code, but I couldn't do more in the time that we had. So the thing is that you have to go here to the manifest of the RComander. And yes, Roberto is indicating, I think class name also has to be changed. And that is correct. Thank you, Roberto. He means this class, takeoff tool. It has to be changed to forward tool. Correct. Okay, so let's go and move here. So we have everything. Yes. So I'm going to save it. And now I'm going to modify the manifest for that package. So you need to go to the manifest here that is included into the RComander plane. You have to open this manifest. And here inside the manifest, you see a list of plugins that indicate which states have to be included into the machine here. You see here in this RComander. So Andrea says that pizza is here. Yes, because somebody is calling to the door. I don't know what's happening there. So anyway, let's continue. We are about to finish and receive all the benefits of this hard work. So let's go. So you have here the list, and the only thing that you have to do is add this new state by copying this line. Let's copy and paste. And here where it says plane, RComander plane, takeoff tool, let's put forward tool because it's the file that we have created, forward tool, right? The robot is going to be my robot. This is a long story about my robot. So just put my robot. And here the tab is this is the name of the tab in which this new state will be included. And I'm putting drone because that's the one that I want. But as you can see, this tab is the one that appears here. So because we have drone, if we would like to have a different tab for different states, you can put a different label here, and a new tab will be automatically created for you. Let's leave it at drone, okay? And save it. Save it, yes, save it. And then we have to restart the state machine. There is no other way. So let's close it here. Yes, process has died, very good. And now let's restart it. Just launch. Let's see if it starts with everything on top there. And if we go to drone, it should appear with a second state, and there it is. So far, so good. So there are no mistakes by now. Great. Then what are we going to do? Then what we are going to do is to open the previous state machine. So let's go to File, Open, and add this new state to the state machine. User, Cat King Workspace, Source, Drone Test, just one click, remember, and choose. We have the state machine, and now let's select the forward state on the state machine and press Add. There it is. So we have the forward. Everything worked, it looks like. Okay, so now what we are going to do is to connect the takeoff. When finished, we are going to connect to the forward. So the robot will move forward. And how do we do? Yes, we select takeoff, go to connections, and then when finished, go to forward 0. That's it. We got it connected. Great. So now what you are waiting for is for launching it and seeing if it works or not. For that, go to Actions and then Run. Let's see, sleeping here 3 seconds. Then it's sleeping too much, I think. So something is wrong. Okay. Key error. There is an error. Okay. So we have an error here in the speed here says L speed. Okay, so let's see what is happening here. It's usually is very likely that is in the forward L speed. Oh yeah, okay, yes, I see. It's because this match interface is waiting for a input key with L speed value. That is the linear velocity that will move the robot. So in order to simplify, let's go and see, just assign a fixed speed. We don't have more time to explain you how to pass input keys, but you can do it also here with the state machine. So let's add here just a speed, for example, 0.3. Okay, so just do it manually, 0.3 moving forward. It will move for 2 seconds forward, and that's it. Well, actually, we'll continue moving because we are not stopping. But the state will stay there for 2 seconds. And then we have to remove here the key, also the input keys, because we are not going to provide this. Okay, so I think that everything is on place now. So yes, save it. And now we have to restart everything again. So close the state machine and relaunch it. And again, we'll have to open the state machine that we have created. So open, then user, Cat King Workspace, source, drone test, choose. There we go to the drone tab, select forward, add. There it is. Then go to the forward It's not to the takeoff. Let's go to the takeoff. Then go to connections. When finished, go to the forward. Okay, and I think it is. Save, yes. So now we can launch it. Yeah, so go to actions and then run. Let's see, sleep. Let's see, take off. Oh, again, another problem. Okay, yes. So we haven't, almost there. We haven't defined the twist. Okay, so still another step. Sorry, just go with me. Okay, so in order to do that, we have to import the twist message that is being generated here, of course. So let's go and then do an from navigation. The twist, I don't remember where was it. Let me close this and then ROS message show twist. I don't remember from where was it. It's geometry or navigation, or it's geometry. Okay, geometry messages .ms import twist. Great. Save it, relaunch it. Okay, thank you, Roman and Stilianos. You got it fast. And relaunch it. And let's see if it opens. We're almost there. Open the new state machine, the already existing state machine. Source, drone test, choose drone, forward, add, select takeoff, go to connections, finish, change to forward, save, and well, that save is not needed, I think. So just actions and then run. Sleeping, taking off, okay, already taken off and moving forward. Yes, and it's moving forward. Finally, we achieve it. And then it finished after 2 seconds. So the drone is still moving forward because I'm going to land it, because otherwise it will get very far. But so we got it. We got it. The robot doesn't stop because we didn't put a stop command in the states. So that's it. I hope that is working with you. Let me know your comments. So what do you think? Is it working for you? Do you have any problem? Paulo, did you solve the problem? Tell me, any questions? This is just scratching the surface of RComander. Okay, so you can go to the RComander here and you will get a lot of information. Sometimes it's a little bit confusing, but you can figure out a lot of more things that you can do. Works for Tija, very good, very good. And what about the others? Is it working for you? So let me know what's happening for you. Let's see, we are about to finish. So you have some time, works or doesn't work. Polo, solve it, great, but could not get the new state part. Okay, so I'm sorry, but you can watch it later and follow the steps. As you can see, we have been going through step by step, so don't worry about that. Estiliano's working, very good. Ruman working, very good. How do you save the map? You mean the Orlando is asking how do you save the map? I imagine that you, Orlando, you mean how do you save the state machine? Yes, that's very good, because if you cannot save, you are in trouble after you have created your very big state machine. So let me show you. It's very simple. It's very, very simple, and it's here. So if I share with you, here, just press save, save. That's it, or save as. If you want to create a new one, then it's going to be included here inside the drone, but maybe we can get another directory up and here write the name. Is drone test tool, in my case, for example, and that's it. You save it. Thank you, Roberto, for saying. Andreas, you achieve it. Anything else? Ruman, how can you create a hierarchical state machine? Yes, you can. You can. There is here another state where you can create a state machine inside another state machine. So if you, I don't know how it works because I have been reading the documentation very fast about that, but I have found that it works. And then you can include one state machine inside another state machine. What is very interesting about this environment is also that you can test states by themselves, just one single state in case that you are debugging. So for example, if you want to only test this sleep state, just select the state and then you press this run here. This run will execute only that state. You get the results here on the terminal, and that's all. So you don't have to select everything or execute everything if you are only executing something. For example, I can execute here the takeoff, and we can see here if the drone is taking off. So I am only launching this state, okay? I run it, and then it should take off. There it is. Okay, so that's very interesting. And also, in the same sense, you can test state machines inside the state machines and create them. Play with this and let me know what you find about that. Then, May, please upload the manifest XML code. Why is that? You didn't get it? You should get it because that manifest is included into the packages I shared with you. So is this manifest here? You already have. So let me know if in the comments. If there are no more questions, we are going to finish here today. It's been a pleasure. And remember that next week, we are going to use a different tool for generating state machines in a visual way. So it's called Visual State. And then let me remind you also that we have created the ROS Developers Conference, that it's a conference of 2 days where you can participate from anywhere in the world. You don't have to travel anywhere. We are bringing the experts that will teach you lessons like this one along 4 hours per each day. And also you will have some chats for talking between all the participants to meet the other people. Follow the exercises in the same way as you are getting, and all more other benefits. I'm going to put here on the chat the address of the ROS Developers Conference, just in case that you would like to have a look what is there. Then I have another question here. The drone is going for your pizza. Yes. Yes, it went away after the pizza, Stilianos, yes. And Chinmay says about the modified one, the XML. Okay, yeah. So no problem. I will post it beneath this video afterwards. So please subscribe to our channel if you like this kind of videos. Give us a thumbs up and see you on the next week. So thank you very much, everyone, for attending. A pleasure. Thank you.